Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it. But Johnny, we got to move on into our next topic, and we got to talk about, we're going to move away from the superhero genre. We're pushing Marvel off to the side. We're going to talk about some Star Wars. We saw the trailer yet again, as me and you saw The Mummy earlier today. And we're going to talk about an actor that we've talked about before with Spider-Man Homecoming and who he may play in that movie, and that's Donald Glover. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Donald Glover is he came out and talked a little bit about the role of Lando Calrissian. And this is what he had to say. He told the outlet, it's a lot of pressure, but it's also very exciting. He's my favorite character too. I grew up on Star Wars. It's just cool to see him again. I feel like people like him because he has a lot of style, but also he's a complicated character in the world. I think even Han isn't as complicated as Lando is. From the first time you meet him, you don't know whether to trust him or not, and you're constantly not knowing whether to trust him. I like that about him. And Johnny, that's going to just pose the question that I want to talk about today is what should we expect from Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian in the Han Solo film?
Well, I'll be fair. So far, I don't know a lot of the stuff Donald Glover is in when it comes to an actor. I mean, he's going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming.
For you, it's going to be that's going to be your first taste of Donald Glover.
That Spider-Man Homecoming will be my first taste of him. As well, we're going to get him in Lion King as Simba, I believe, right?
Yep.
But like I said, Spider-Man Homecoming will be my first real taste of him as an actor. I haven't seen really anything of him in there. So this will be like, hey, will he be a Lando Calrissian? I don't expect him not to be, because in the Star Wars franchise, we don't get a whole lot of him in the movie anyways. So, I mean, it's a younger version of him. So that's kind of up for interpretation. The scene that I was looking up between podcasts and stuff was he's going to probably be mostly just in when Han gets the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because as he's supposed to be a gambler, a smuggler himself, he loses it to Han in the Han Solo film. That's right, I said it.
We'll get it eventually. We'll get a way to say it.
I'm sorry. We'll get a way to
the Han Solo film, or the Solo Han Solo film, however you want to say it.
However you want to say it. SHSF.
It's all about who shot first. Obviously, Han. Han always shot first.
Han shot first. But anyways, the main scene we're going to see him in is him losing the Falcon to young Han. So I'm gonna love it seeing how that plays out.
Well, and I mean, the thing that I liked most about the quote, and for me, the only time, like the main thing I've seen, because I haven't seen Atlanta. I'll be honest, I haven't watched it. I haven't gotten a chance to watch much of anything. That's why, like, I'm behind on The Flash. I'm behind on Supergirl. Dave is always badgering me how I'm behind on stuff.
And some other superhero stuff.
And some other superhero stuff.
Yeah,
that's
you are.
Kind of a reason why I haven't given opinions on it, because I haven't seen it, but I have seen him in Community a little bit, and I think he fits the role perfectly. I think that he is going to be a guy that I cannot wait for what kind of a spin he's going to put on the Lando Calrissian character, because exactly like you said, kind of was my first thought when I first saw Lando in the Star Wars films. Obviously, for us, it was a little different, because like I said, we're 90s kids.
Yeah, we are.
So we never had that experience of A New Hope in theaters, of Empire Strikes Back in theaters. It was well after we were born it came out, and then kind of your parents did the ceremonial rite of, here is Star Wars, we are going to watch it for the first time.
Here's a VHS, go watch it.
Here is what it is going to be, and I fell in love with the world. And the first thing I thought of when Lando came on is, okay, the new character that they're introducing, right away I'm like, should I like him? Should I like him because Han is like buddy-buddy with him?
Exactly.
Or is he up to something? Because you also get that twist of, well, he helps Vader. He's helping the bad guy, so why should I trust you? But you're also his friend, and he ends up helping Leia. It's like Lando's a character that is very gray area.
Yeah.
Where it kind of feels like
He's on the line.
Well, it's not on the line to me. It's more of a Lando's going to do whatever benefits Lando.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where if it's giving information to the Empire, go ahead. If it's helping you get Han Solo back, yeah, sure. He kind of wishes back and forth between good and bad and kind of stays in that no man's land, that gray area.
And that's what I mean by on the line.
Yeah.
He can go one way or the other. I mean, there's a line that you follow,
Yep.
and he can either go to the help the Empire out, or he can go and help the rebels out.
Very mercenary-esque.
Yes, exactly. He's basically a mercenary, but not with the Crumbopulous Michael version of it.
Yeah, he's not Crumbopoulos Michael.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be it. But I am intrigued to see what Donald Glover brings to it because I wish that Spider-Man Homecoming came out this week.
Yes.
Because I want to see him in that first before, like I say, like, oh, it's going to be good or bad. But even in that one, we see him. He's going to be playing a character in the one scene we finally saw from him.
Yeah.
Kind of a serious role to Peter Parker. And I feel like in this Lando kind of role, he can kind of play that serious part a little bit, but also let his hair down.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Lando's a guy where, yeah, he's down to business, but like you said, he's a gambler, he's a smuggler, kind of a smooth. When I first saw him in the original trilogy, I kind of thought to myself, oh, he's a smooth talker.
Yeah, he is.
That's what Lando is. Lando's going to get you to like the way I kind of equated it was kind of the Eddie Haskell type of character. Like my mom, when I would have friends that I would introduce, my mom would always be like, yeah, that one's an Eddie Haskell type. And that's kind of what Lando is, where he's like, he's going to sweet talk you. He's going to get you to like you.
Yeah, he's going to find...
In the first few minutes of meeting him, I'm going to sweet talk you so much, you are going to like me because you think I'm a good guy. You think I'm a fun guy.
Exactly.
Without actually knowing who I really am. And I think that Donald Glover can play that part fairly well.
Yeah.
I think he can, because you look at how he was in Community, but also I look at his kind of persona as Childish Gambino as well.
Okay.
And what he brings with his personality to kind of play that line. Spider-Man Homecoming, we'll get a more serious Donald Glover.
Yeah.
It's going to be serious. We see that seriousness in the one scene we've seen him in a trailer. This one is going to be, hey, you know what? This is where I can kind of let my hair down. I can kind of play both lines of it. I can be that smooth talking, kind of, you don't know if I'm lying to you, if I'm telling you the truth, kind of a character.
And you know what's great though? You have you can talk more about him than I can. So what I'm going to say though is he had this version of Lando Calrissian. Yeah, we have an idea of what Lando is, but this is way more open for interpretation now, because when we get in the Star Wars we have now, the old Star Wars movies, he's an entrepreneur. He's set. He's not like doing the
No. This is like young Lando,
where he's still a gambler. I mean, he's still a gambler.
He's
either
working
way,
his way up,
but he's not an entrepreneur yet. He's still smuggling. He's gambling. He's doing all that stuff that Han's going to get himself into in this movie. So he can like be a little bit. He can, if he wants to, he can make it like a little bit more wild of a one than I'm kind of set. I am in charge of a bunch of people now. I have to set a little bit of an example.
Yeah. And I mean, that's where it's not going to be the same exact Lando.
Exactly.
That we see in the trilogy. And another quote.
Which you don't want anyways, 100%.
And another quote from Superhero Hype that he went on, and they talked about kind of like the artistic side of playing Lando. He said, for working under like a huge conglomerate, it's actually been quite enjoyable artistic thing. I get to play him the way that I think is honest and true and cool. And it's great because I didn't have to write anything. I'm focused strictly on being this guy. And I really respect him, and I respect the actor who played him before. I learned a lot about this character, so it's actually been really fulfilling and nice to just turn everything off, turn everything else and focus on being someone. And that kind of goes into effect with, I'm going to relate it towards Atlanta.
Okay.
Because the thing that, I mean, I haven't seen it to give the kind of how his acting was, but the thing that he's talking about here that might get a different performance than in Atlanta is that with Atlanta, he wrote it, he acted in it.
Yeah.
So he had to focus on the writing part, he had to focus on the directing part, he had to focus on the acting part. With this, he's just able to walk in, this is the character I'm playing, this is the one you wrote for me, and that's what I get to focus on. So really, I think that from this quote, from actually just hearing it, that focus that he might be able to put on the character might give us a better performance as well.
Yeah.
Because he's not having to worry about the script writing. He doesn't have to worry about directing. He could just come in and worry about Lando and, like he said, kind of give like, okay, how was he when he gets older in the old film? Kind of give respect to the actor that played him before, so it's not like I'm coming in and just stepping all over your yard, that I'm coming in and I'm adding a different take, my take, to your iconic character. Because the thing with Star Wars that I think it's kind of trippy, especially in a Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Han Solo, iconic.
Yes.
Lando Calrissian, iconic. Chewie, iconic. Leia, iconic. Skywalker, Luke, iconic. Vader, iconic. All of these characters are icons to us now.
Yeah, exactly.
Even when you look at the prequels, sorry, had to bring it up, but even when you look at Darth Maul, icon. You look at Anakin Skywalker, icon, because he becomes Darth Vader, but that's kind of a different side of it. Jar Jar Binks, people know who he is.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
We kind of want to forget him. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan.
Yoda.
Whoa, totally forgot about Obi-Wan. Yoda, Mace Windu. These are icons, so that I feel like there are going to be people that come into this film and kind of say, nope, I like the original actor.
Yeah, that's true.
Won't like his take on it.
There's going to be those people.
They're so sold in the old version, in the original version.
Yeah,
that they saw.
There's going to be those people that are like that. I just like the idea that, I mean, I'm keeping an open mind because you know what? There is more play in this one now. We don't have a ton of him in the older films.
Yeah,
and there's enough to get some idea of his character though. But again, you have more open because this is a younger version of him. So from becoming a smuggler, thief, scoundrel to entrepreneur, a little bit of a gambler still, and you're like running. He's in charge of he's in charge of Cloud City. You're a leader. You have to play a different role than
when you're a smuggler or gambler. You're not dealing with that.
Exactly. You have to play a different role. So I mean, I'm keeping an open mind, and whoever wants to keep an open mind, you have to have that idea that this is a younger version of him. You're different than what you were in a younger age.
I am totally like
exactly.
I have said this numerous times. If I could go back to like 18 and 19-year-old me on some occasion, like there are moments in my head that play back. If I can go back to that moment in time to my younger self, I just punch myself in the face and walk off.
Yeah.
Like, what was that for? You figure it out.
You know what it's for.
Yeah, you know what it's for. Like that kind of an
like
attitude.
right before you were about to do whatever it was. And slap him in the back of the head and say,
do it.
You know what that's for. You know what you were thinking.
You know what that's for. Don't do it.
Yeah, you know what you were thinking.
Or you know what that's for. Don't even think that.
Exactly.
Don't even think about it.
So, I mean, it's just the fact that it's older him versus younger him. You can't 100% compare the two. The one thing I'm going to ask you though now.
Okay.
The only part I can think of him being in is when he loses the Millennium Falcon, because this is supposed to span from when Han is 18 till Han is 24. Do you think there's any other part that he can really be in?
I mean, I think that I would assume that Lando's going to play a part, like a bigger part than just one scene, because there needs to be something that explains their friendship. Okay. Because when we see him in the original trilogy, when they first say hello, that's not somebody that's like, oh, I won a Millennium Falcon off you. Yeah. Maybe that scene is the second time they've met. Maybe it's the third. Maybe it's the first. But he is going to be a character that interacts with Han a lot, because the way I saw it with the trilogy, that first hello that they kind of met on Cloud City,
you're right, actually.
I was sitting there going, yeah, these are old acquaintances. Like, these are acquaintances that they were best buds a while ago.
Yeah, they were
just haven't seen each other in a
some
while.
form of friendship was bonded there. So yeah, you're right. Okay, there's got to be in and out interactions.
I feel like he needs to be a big part of this, but not like a huge part, but a solid part of this movie to build that friendship, to explain it a little bit. So it's like,
but not the Wookiee co-pilot.
That's what it is, not the Wookiee co-pilot. But I mean, that's what I see from it. He's got to be a solid part because I want to see that backside to it.
Yeah.
That we didn't get to see with the original trilogy. But I was actually going to ask you, any last things you want to mention with this before I kind of take the discussion and flip it onto them?
No, I mean, I'm excited to hear. I can't wait to hear more about this film, see what we're going to get.
Because we're not scheduled to get it until, May 2018? So we are just under a year away from this movie. But May 2018, that's quite a while. We still got a while to go until we get it. I mean, we're under a year, but it's like that. Yeah, we're under a year until we get it.
Yeah, it's going to just snowball at this point. Sometime soon, but I'm excited to see how they play, how he does Lando, but also just the movie in general, how they're going to show that 6-year gap in
one movie, 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Because I mean, you got just introducing Han. They're going to have his mentor. They're going to have the introduction of how he meets Chewbacca. The stuff with Lando. So there's a lot of stuff to throw in there. And not to mention 6-year gap of how you're going to transition that. So I'm excited to see that.
And the thing that I'm looking at is another guy we might have to talk about later if we get some news on him is, and I hope I said the last name right, but Aiden Ehrenreich, who is
Alden.
He's going to play, or Alden Rick. He's going to play Han Solo. And the only things that he's known for, looking at his Wikipedia page, the 4 things that pop up: Beautiful Creatures, Hail Caesar, Stoker, and Blue Jasmine, where he played Danny. Only one of those I've heard of, and that's Hail Caesar, and I haven't seen it.
It's more than me.
And that is an actor that's like, okay, you're coming out here with one that I'm not quite familiar with.
Yeah.
How is he going to do? But Donald Glover, he is a huge name. Everyone knows who he is, whether it's Childish Gambino or Donald Glover. But this is where I kind of flip it on to you guys and kind of put the conversation your way. What do you guys think? How do you feel about Lando in this movie? How do you think he's going to play a role? What do you think of Donald Glover? How is he going to play the character of Lando Calrissian? And what do you expect from both the character and Donald Glover in this movie? Let us know down below in the comment section. And that's going to do it for the Rick and Johnny podcast this week. If you're, like I said, watching on YouTube, let us know what you think about this topic down below. And also kind of watch the other videos. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, go ahead, let us know down below as well what you think about any of the topics we talked about this week. You can always follow us on Twitter. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Johnny is at
War Machine 9085.
And Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. Also, besides hitting the follow button on Blog Talk Radio, the subscribe button on YouTube, go ahead and check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. We had our best month statistically in May, and it was all because of you guys watching our things, sharing them, and giving us support. So also go ahead and check out patreon.com to give a little more support, but also thank you guys for everything. This ride has been amazing, and it gets better and better each week of doing this podcast with Johnny and myself for you guys. So let us know what you think down below. But as always, have a good day, everybody.
I don't know about this, Rick.
Just do it, Morty.
Thank you for watching Most Valuable Podcast video. If you want to watch more of them, just watch them right here. And thank you for watching.